Like the saying goes, just one bad or wrong decision can actually spoil a lot of things for you. One wrong decision can bring years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds of hard work to a stop. Is that the story of Arsenal? Well, on Wednesday, we get to find out. Arsenal played at a 1-0 draw with Brentford on Saturday in the London derby, but because of a singular decision that could have been, checked very well, Arsenal right now are at the verge of losing a Premier League spot that they've held for so long to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. Ivan Toney's goal shouldn't have stood because an official statement from the PGMOL has come out to say it was a human error that allowed the goal of Ivan Toney to stand, and they've apologized to Arsenal. Remember, second time Arsenal have been outdone by a VAR decision. The first time it was at Manchester United, Gabriel Martinelli with the goal, but it was ruled out as foul on Christian Eriksen. Second time, Ivan Toney's goal stood against Brentford, and this second time might just be crucial to the title hopes and aspirations of Arsenal as a team. It started with Everton. Everton defeated Arsenal by 1-0, and Arsenal coming into the match against Brentford understood that 3 points would mean that they will be 8 points ahead of Manchester City going into a crucial week of football game with Manchester City this week. And they dropped valuable points, valuable 2 points against Brentford over the weekend. Mikel Arteta, what has gone wrong for Arsenal? That is the question every Arsenal fan right now, everybody's asking. A lot of persons are saying that the elephant is about to fall down from the tree. Okay, as much as I think that Arsenal have worked so hard this year, yes, they've worked so hard. Like, Arsenal have worked so hard this year, for crying out loud. Okay, it is not by mistake that they are there. They've put in a lot of performances, and a lot of persons are saying that come Wednesday at the Emirates Stadium, after Manchester City beats Arsenal, Manchester City, for the first time in a long while, will be top of the table, and Arsenal will play in catch up to Manchester City. Why? Because of goal difference. Well, I don't think so. Arsenal have a game in hand, even if they play Manchester City on Wednesday. So all they need to do is get a result against Manchester City. Now, this video is to just take a look at Arsenal's performances in the last two games against Everton and Brentford, what they didn't get right, and what they expected to do against Manchester City. Now, let's start with Everton game. Everton had a new manager, Sean. Everybody was out to impress. Tarkowski, the goal scorer, remember, it's been a long while who started for Everton. So he was brought into the starting 11 and he needed to impress the new coach. Everton pressed Arsenal. And again, Arsenal do not like it when a team sits in the defense. They love a team that plays, free-flowing football so that they could probably open up the spaces for Martino. They get to put in one or two passes, and then they didn't get here making the run. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli making the run. But Everton made sure that they were very compact at the back. So it was a little bit of issue for Arsenal to get something out of that game. Did they play well? Well, towards the closing stages, you were expecting Arsenal to have the possession, and Arsenal did have the possession against Everton. Straight up to Brentford. Brentford against Arsenal, the same thing. Brentford maintaining a very, very high line against Arsenal. And the idea was, make sure you don't allow them get the ball into the 18 and block all those loopholes where they make the 1-2 passes. Make sure that Martin Odegaard, Granit Xhaka do not get a hold on the midfield. And they got the job done. They frustrated Arsenal. They kept the ball in the air, and it's something that Brentford knows how to do. And we all know that Arsenal, when it comes to set pieces, they are not so good when it comes to set pieces. And Brentford were using, the ball in the air to actually do a lot of harm to Arsenal, and they couldn't contain it. And Brentford had good players who were very good in the air, so Arsenal just had to deal with it. Against Manchester City on Wednesday, it's simple. It's a game Arsenal can win. You know why? Manchester City play the kind of football Arsenal want. Manchester City have not been having a good result, but on Sunday they beat Aston Villa by 3-1. Well, a lot of persons might be saying that the momentum right now is in favor of Manchester City, but I do not think so. We've seen Mikel Arteta and Arsenal play football of their life just to get 3 points. They did that against Manchester United, and it was the best 10 minutes of Arsenal in the history of Arsenal playing football this season. It was crazy 10 minutes of Manchester United. Erik ten Hag did not have answers to whatever onslaught Arsenal players were bringing. The crosses, the runs, and everything, the tread, they had to hang on by a trade. And at the end of the day, they still lost the game. Now, against Manchester City, it's going to be an easier game for Arsenal to win. Pep Guardiola and his boys will put the ball on the floor. Arsenal has to get a control of the midfield. Once Erling Haaland is not in the game, you can beat Manchester City. It's not something that we've not seen. Tottenham Hotspur beat Manchester City by 1 goal to nothing. So it's possible for the same Arsenal that beat Tottenham Hotspur to beat Manchester City. The same Arsenal that beat Manchester United that could do that Manchester City couldn't beat to still beat Manchester City. But right now, the momentum has changed. Have we seen Arsenal come up with the results in situations like this? Oh yes, this season we've seen them come up with results, in situations where everybody was expecting them to lose. They came up with good results. So I guess Manchester City on Wednesday is not going to be an exception. Aaron Ramsdale behind the sticks for Arsenal. It's a no-brainer. Then you have Ben White starting. You have Gabriel starting the game against Arsenal. And you have William Saliba, and then you have Zinchenko starting the game. In the midfield, of course, the trusted duo of Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, because you would need someone to support your defenders. If possible, bring in a Jorginho, but I wouldn't want Arsenal to play, too much of defensive game against Manchester City. Man City can always exploit that. You have Martin Odegaard. Make sure you have your wingers, the likes of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, available for you. Then you have Edin Ketia because Gabriel Jesus is not yet ready to come back. Now, you have Trossard on the bench. You also have Jorginho on the bench. Fabio Vieira on the bench. But when you look at Arsenal, they don't have depth in squad, and that is what Manchester City has. So Mikel Arteta will just have to make use of what is available right now at his disposal. It's a game that Arsenal can win. It's a game that Mikel Arteta can win. He needs to psych up the player. And I know Arsenal player, Arsenal Football Club, they've got a psychologist. This is where the psychologist has to do a lot of talking. It's not easy. Like I said when I started, months, hours, minutes, seconds of hard work about to go down the drain just because of one mistake. Just one mistake. And that mistake can or might be detrimental to Arsenal's title hopes if they don't fix it against Manchester City. But if Arsenal gets a result against Manchester City, now quote me and put this date, Arsenal will not lose the Premier League. If Arsenal gets a result against Manchester City on Wednesday, 3 points, Arsenal will not lose the Premier League title this season. But if Arsenal fails to get a result against Manchester City, Arsenal will be hanging by the trade, hoping that results will always go their way and hoping that their game at hand will do them a lot of favor to go ahead Manchester City. Remember, Arsenal's game at hand against Manchester City and the next one is against Brighton and Hove Albion. We all know the story of Brighton and Hove Albion this season. At least Liverpool is a living witness of what Brighton and Hove Albion have been to them. Quickly, and let's talk about Manchester City a little before I wrap up the video. Pep Guardiola right now is having, a very small time because at the point it was a little bit of inconsistency coming from Pep. Erling Haaland was not scoring. A lot of persons were asking questions that Erling Haaland is not a team player. He only knows how to score goals. And I asked the question, Erling Haaland is a striker. What does a striker do? A striker scores goals. He's not a midfielder, for crying out loud. You brought him to score goals. You give him the ball, he will score the goal for you. When he's not scoring the goal, he's not doing his job. So he doesn't need to be a team player. All he needs to do is just score the goals. And scoring goals means you're a team player because after the defenders, the midfielders have done their job. It's left for you to execute whatever it is that started from the goalkeeper down to the defense, the midfield, and then to you as a striker. Pep Guardiola understands that momentum right now is in favor of Manchester City. But he also understands that going to Emirates, it's not really going to be a very, very sweet story for him because the Arsenal faithfuls will be cheering on the team to get the results. The last time a big team like Manchester United came to Arsenal, came to the Emirates Stadium to play, it wasn't funny at all. The fans had to rally around their team because they understood how important winning the first Premier League title since 2004 was important for them. Remember, no team has done the double over Arsenal so far. Not a Manchester United that inflicted their first defeat of the season to them. Not even an Everton side. No team has done the double over Arsenal. Can Manchester City do the double over Arsenal? Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed and wait till Wednesday to know the outcome of that one. But so far, so good. I will look at Mikel Arteta, I'll look at the Arsenal players. And one thing I can say for sure is that Arsenal have been a better team this season. Injury to a reasonable extent has played this part on them. Emil Smith-Rowe is out and they couldn't get in the players they wanted to get. I don't know, maybe because of phone and whatever it is. But right now, Arsenal have done so well. And Mikel Arteta doesn't want to be drawn into the whole Manchester City issue. And the fact that Pep Guardiola and the boys are playing goes a long way to show you that, they are doing their job. Even if we get we're found guilty of breaching so many laws, it's not a player's business. Their business is just to do their job. Make sure you're doing your job, okay? Until it comes to the part where they say, stop doing the job. And Manchester City players are using whatever it is that's happening in the club as a catalyst to success. Arsenal should also use the recent poor run, Everton losing and Brentford losing, and Brentford drawing their game, as a catalyst to get a result against Manchester City. I'm rooting for the Gunners, trust me. I'm rooting for us not to get a result against Manchester City because I believe in the success and the hard work that this young Arsenal team have put in. I believe in the daily training that Mikel Arteta has put these guys through. I believe in the fact that they have the winning mentality because it will be tested on Wednesday against a Pep Guardiola that has won the Premier League title, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup with Manchester City. It will be tested. Arsenal can get a result against Manchester City, but they have to keep their head in the game. That is the only way they can get a result against Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Please do well to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And most importantly, turn on your notification button. It's a month of love, so please let's do well to show love to people around us, not just to our family. Let's do well to show love to everybody. And most importantly, February 25th is a defining moment in our nation's history. Your PVC is your right to change whatever anomaly that we're going through in this country. Your PVC is your right to vote for a better candidate. Your PVC is your right to change whatever it is you have, to put the right person in power. Please, let us get it right this time around, because if we fail to get it right this time around, we have 4 years to suffer, to bicker, and 4 years to jabba. I don't know if you want to jabba, but we can still make Nigeria a better place. Thank you very much.